Before we start, I want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to Celeb Dirty. Here are 10 celebrities who are afraid of flying. Number 10, Jennifer Aniston. She has a good reason for this. In celebration of her 50th birthday, Jennifer and some friends went on vacation together in Mexico. And while in the air on the private plane, the pilot asked to speak with Jennifer, letting her know that there were parts of their landing gear back at the airport and that they blew a tire and were forced to make an emergency landing. After that, it really ignited Jennifer's fear of flying, and she's been hesitant ever since.
I'm, getting all gussied up.
Listen,
for you guys.
Don't even.
Number 9, Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock's another celebrity who had a traumatic event happen while flying. Back in 2000, Sandra was actually in a small plane crash in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Thankfully, it wasn't extreme and they were able to make a safe landing, but since that, Sandra developed a fear of flying, and we don't blame her. Any accident, no matter how severe, is terrifying. She has flown since then, but she isn't comfortable.
Again, that one popped up and he goes, Mama, you have to wear this. And I went, no, Mama doesn't have to.
Number 8, William Shatner. You'd think that William Shatner, who played Captain Kirk in Star Trek, would be the last person afraid of flying. But he actually has a huge fear, and because of it, he turned down the opportunity of a lifetime. He received an invitation to fly on Virgin Galactic into space and to be one of the first celebrities to do so. He joked around saying that the only way he would ever actually launch himself into space was if he was paid an insane amount of money.
Rocket Man.
Number 7, Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck's yet another celebrity who's deathly afraid of flying. Ever since he was a little boy, just 9 years old, he was flying a plane when the one was caught on fire mid-air, mid-flight. To make things even worse, he was flying from Boston to Washington, D.C. unaccompanied when this whole thing happened. And while he was on the plane, the entire thing was struck by lightning, and as a child flying alone, that had to be pretty scary.
Muy bien.
Number 6, Sean Bean. Sean Bean, who played the role of Boromir in The Lord of the Rings, had a hard time filming since he has a huge fear of flying. While filming on location in New Zealand, he refused to use helicopters to get up to the mountains since he was so afraid. He had to walk everywhere. And while his co-stars were comfortably flown in helicopters, he chose to walk and climb up the mountains himself. And as a result, they had to wait for him to trek up the mountain before filming. Sean blames his parents for his fear of flying, as they were the exact same way and rubbed it off on him.
He came over to my house and just covered me in this plaster of Paris, and
I've had it done. It's a very
Number 5, Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson's yet another celeb who's afraid of flying, and it came from as long as he can remember, and it's created quite a few problems when it comes to traveling. It doesn't mean he doesn't travel, but he has figured out a number of ways to get where he needs to be. He travels by car, he'll even use trains, and when he needs to go to Europe, he'll get there by boat.
Film that was about, that was sort of inspired by...
Number 4, Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg also has a huge fear of flying. When she was in San Diego, she was sitting out on her balcony when she witnessed a horrific accident when there was a mid-air collision, and Whoopi unfortunately had to witness the whole thing. Because of this, she developed an insane fear of flying, and despite the fact that she has this huge fear, she wanted to overcome it. And as a result, enrolled in Sir Richard Branson and Virgin Atlantic's Flying Without Fear program, as well as using the technique of thought-field therapy to help herself. Her first flight, she chartered a private jet and took her doctor along with her and continues to work her fear today.
in who I boned.
Number 3, Kate Winslet. Yet another celebrity, so much so that her and her ex-husband, Sam Mendes, used to avoid flying together because she was afraid of them crashing and leaving their kids without parents. Her real fear began when Sam was supposed to fly on one of the planes that were hijacked and crashed into the Pentagon on 9/11. Luckily, last minute he didn't get on the plane, a decision that saved his life. Not long after, Kate was on a flight where a man tried to hijack the plane and they had to make an emergency landing. And flying became terrifying for Kate since then.
But why was it actually, it's pretend. Why did they make it?
Number 2, Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin was one talented lady, but she was scared of flying. Back in 1984, she was on a small airplane where they encountered a lot of turbulence, which really freaked her out, and as a result, she refused to fly anywhere no matter what. Regardless of her fears, she still had to travel and play shows, so she traveled wherever she could in a custom-made bus. Unfortunately, her fear did hold her back a lot and prevented her from going to some places further away. She did make it work and sadly never got over her fear of flying.
A list of singers and so on, but it was great because I had already bought some.
Number 1, Travis Barker. Blink-182 drummer is absolutely terrified of flying, with a good reason. Last time he was on a plane was in 2008 and it wound up crashing, and everyone on the plane died except for him and his best friend DJ AM. Being the two lone survivors, they both suffered from survivor's guilt and had a tough time overcoming things emotionally and psychologically. To make things worse, DJ AM passed a year later from drug overdose, leaving Travis the only lone survivor. Travis had to not only deal with survival's guilt, but also PTSD and had to endure months of therapy to help him. These days, he's trying to work on his fear of flying, recognizing how much of a freak accident everything was. But this brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen, because I'm sure you'll love them. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.